Nightmare walking, psychopath talking, king of the jungle, just a vampire stalking. Nightmare walking.
So how's it going, guys? It's Dragon Master here. First off, no, your eyes are not playing a trick on you. I did bring the face paint back. Um, this is going to be the first new style of a few that I'm going to be wearing here over the next few videos. Uh, Before I get into what this video is about, I do want to say that I apologize that I've been kind of MIA these last few weeks. I've been preparing for the um, regional tournament coming up in Bethel Park here in a few weeks. Sorry, my girlfriend's over here. So, yeah. But, so yeah, I've been preparing for the regional tournament here coming up on the 11th in Bethel Park. So there's been a lot of testing and R&D and all this other lovely bullshit. Um, so to kind of get into the first part of what this video is about, the first part of the video is about the new ban list. Now I'm not going to go through and talk about all the cards at the ban list because we all know what those cards are. I'm just going to really touch base on the cards that I'm glad to see hit the ban list, and a couple cards that I'm glad to see come off the ban list as well. So first off, I have to say I love the fact that Gofu's finally been banned. It's been running amok in many Link decks, and really it just shows that Konami is trying to stick to their guns here and make the game slower. It's still a fast-paced game because there's still a lot of I'm trying to think here, a lot of extra deck heavy decks running, but it's slowed down in the sense that decks that aren't really reliant on the extra deck, I call these moderately reliant decks, are really being able to show their potential now with main deck power, such as with the properly built Galaxy deck, the Blue Eyes deck, um, and just really shit like that. I am extremely happy to see that the Pendulum Magician deck got hit as well, as I'm sure a lot of us are happy to see that deck get hit, except for those who play that deck. I'm very glad to see that deck get hit. I'm finally fucking glad to see that the last key card in the Spiral deck got hit in the list as well. While none of the cards got banned, they are now all limited cards. The one card that was recently taken off the ban list, and I'm still freaking out over this. I still can't believe it actually happened. And I'm sure there's plenty of other people that feel the same way, and that is Monster Reborn. 20 plus years later, Konami, really? Is this what we have to look forward to now? But, the original badass card for resurrecting from the graveyard is finally back in play, and I can't wait to see what all decks are going to incorporate that card in it. I know I've incorporated it into my Galaxy deck, which I'm also going to talk a little bit on it as well, without going into too much detail on it, because I do want the deck to kind of be a surprise for tournament day. If any of you follow me on Facebook, you know that I have been messing around with my Galaxy deck, as I usually am, and I've made yet another version of the Galaxy deck. Now, after the tournament, I will be posting a update video on it just so you guys can see this version of the deck. But again, it is going to wait until after the tournament because I want it to be a surprise. Like, I don't want people to see this deck and then basically figure out a way to defeat it. I want you to do this on the fly. If I'm facing you at the tournament, do it on the fly, not do it with preparation. And the reason I say this is because I'm actually going to bring up my Dragon Master channel right now to look at these numbers. So first off, we're going to start with the original deck profile video for the Galaxy Eyes Blue Eyes deck. And the fact that it's actually gotten a couple more views. Holy shit. Last time I looked at this, it was at like 118 views. We're now up to 120 views on that deck alone. I do have some other deck profile videos up here, but that is the most popular one thus far. And then the revised deck profile video for it, that's another 58 views. Now, I'm sure a lot of the same people who saw the original video have seen the revised deck profile as well. But nonetheless, that's 100 and that's what 178 views across both videos. And that's why I'm trying to keep this under wraps, because these videos have only been up for a month or two. Like, my original videos have been up for 2 months with 120 views, and the other one's been up for a month with its initial 58. Now, I know for that time period it's not a lot, but those are two of my most popular videos, really. But that's why I'm not posting that deck profile just yet, because I want it to be a surprise. And one thing a friend of mine told me here recently, and this is another reason why I'm not doing it, and something I've actually seen pop up between YouTube channels, my YouTube channel, another Yugi tuber channel, what was his name? The Galaxy Master, or Master of the Galaxy, something like that. I haven't followed him yet. I do intend to. He just uploaded, I'm sure a lot of you guys follow him as well, but he just uploaded real recently a video, matter of fact 3 months ago, back in November, for a Galaxy Eyes deck profile. I'm going to touch on a couple things with his deck here in a minute. There's a couple things I don't like, but then again, we all have opinions on, everyone's deck. So, and I love the fact that he's gotten over 5,000 views. I simply love that. I guess it helps to have a shit ton of followers, right? But I'm still working on that front. Anyway, so that's why I'm not uploading the new Galaxy deck profile yet. Plus, I'm still tweaking it a little bit. Right now, all you guys are going to know is that I do run Monster Reborn in this deck. The only other thing I want to let you guys know is that I have incorporated Link monsters into this deck as well. I don't go into them very often, but I have them there for if I want them. I only run 2. One's an initial Link 3, the other one's a Link 2 in case I want to summon one extra Xyz monster. But initially it's there to kind of help me get out my 1-2 punch, which, for anyone who's seen my videos and heard me talk about the Galaxy Eyes cards, my favorite combo, my 1-2 punch, is summoning out Cyber Dragon Infinity and number 62 Galaxy Eyes Prime Photon Dragon. Mainly because of the fact that they work so well together. I've also incorporated a few extra cards into that strategy as well, especially since I just recently got a hold of a couple copies of Solemn Strike as well as Solemn Judgment. So that helps out as well. So what I wanted to talk about, and this guy's name is Master of Galaxy Eyes. One thing I want to touch on real quick, and it's a common style that I've seen played with the Galaxy Eyes, is the Felgrand engine. He mentioned that if you do want to run extra dragons in the Galaxy Eyes deck, to run the Felgrand engine. I've played with the Felgrand engine before, and as a lot of you guys know, I'm not one to build decks off of someone else's recipe. But I have built that deck off of someone else's recipe before, card for card, the whole 9 yards, and me personally, I don't like the way that that particular engine runs. with the Galaxy cards at all. It might seem easy and straightforward to a lot of you, but for me, it's not what I do. It's not something I can easily get into. And that's why I'm constantly messing around with my Galaxy Eyes deck. My personal favorite deck for this entire recipe is Blue Eyes, Galaxy Eyes. Mainly because I'm able to get off my stronger boards real quick. And especially the way that I have the deck built now. Like, it's a 43 card deck the way it is now. And its speed and consistency and the ability to just screw over my opponents is so much better. And I've only added a few cards. I've taken some away and I've added a few. But to give you guys an idea on how this new deck is operating, and this is a deck that I actually expect to see more of moving forward. So, as we all know, the Pendulum Magician deck has been hit hard. The two of its key cards are gone. So, prior to the ban list, I was playing on YGO Pro, The Dawn of a New Era. I'm sorry, Era. Sorry. I was playing with no ban list because I wanted to test the deck out with Monster Reborn in it. And while playing in that particular lobby setting, just today, as a matter of fact, I came across... Hasn't been updated yet. Okay. Of course, YGO Pro has not been updated yet. Lovely. But anyway, so I came across a deck that I've kind of always expected to see. I've just never really said anything about it. It is another variation of a Pendulum Magician deck. It's a Pendulum Magician Odd Eyes deck. And I'll tell you what, it gave me a run for my money. Like, the kid that designed this deck, he designed it perfectly. I'm talking to the fucking T. He designed it perfectly. And this was a deck, like I said, it gave me a fucking run for my money, but ultimately my deck proved the better of the two. And just like any other deck, this deck still has the ability to clog up. You start off with a shitty hand and just stuff like that. And I'm going to go back to a conversation me and my buddy had a few months ago, where if you can get past that initial 5th turn, you know, your chances of winning are now literally 50-50 because of the way the game's played nowadays. And again, that's what this deck is able to do if I start out very shitty, but I manage to make it to the 5th turn and beyond that. Because once I get everything started with my combos, it's practically impossible to stop the deck, just with the way it's set up now. And like I said, I'm able to get off my Link monsters very easily, even though I don't go into those very often. More often than not, I'm typically going into Cyber Dragon Infinity, or I go into my number 95, since it has the ability to royally screw over my opponent. Just stuff like that. My buddy did also talk to me earlier about the Galaxy decks now, you know, making another appearance, heavily making an appearance on YouTube for deck profile videos and in tournaments and stuff like that. And I hate to be the one to say I told you so, guys, but I told you so. I called it back when the Link format took over. Excuse me. Even more so when Zoodiac got hit the way that it did, that I expected to see certain decks do a lot better, and the Galaxy deck was one of them. If you don't believe me, go back and watch some of my earlier videos, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Excuse me. So, I'm glad to see that the Dragon decks are finally making a comeback, even with Odd Eyes being played in a Pendulum Magician variant of the deck. I do look to see more variants of Dragon type decks, like a Supreme King Dragon, more Odd Eyes variants, more Red Eyes, more Galaxy Eyes, more Blue Eyes. Um, I even look to see more Dark Magician. On the subject of Blue Eyes, as we all know, again, here in just about a month, a little over a month, um, the new Kaiba collection is coming out very soon. And there's still a lot of speculation and everything going around. I look for Konami to drop a final card list for that set sometime this month. But a lot of us are looking forward to that new fusion monster for the Fang of Critias. And there's a lot of speculation going around that it's the Blue Eyes card. I think it was Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon or something like that. And honestly, that would be awesome because it is the last card for the Fang of Critias that we need um, to really make the set complete. Now, again, excuse me. Again, me and my friend were talking, and we've come to the conclusion that this can go one of two ways. The first way is they give us the Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon to finish off that set. But Konami has also been releasing a lot of new cards for certain archetypes as well, such as Red Eyes Black Dragon, the new Dark Magician card Cyber Dragon, and the new Odd Eyes card that's in the legendary Dragon deck box. And even some of the newer cards that are coming out in the next Legendary Duelist pack for Pegasus and Chaz and all this other lovely shit. So they're already making new cards for new archetypes. So what's to stop them from making a completely different card for the Fang of Critias? It's not completely unheard of. It's not as obscene as some people might think it is. It's a definite possibility. Will I be happy as hell if they finally give us that last Fang of Critias card? Yes. Will I be surprised if they go a different direction and instead of giving us the Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon, they give us some other completely bass-ackwards card for Critias? No. Because it's Konami. They can do whatever they want. Unfortunately. Trying to think if there's anything else I want to talk about real quick. And I'm coming up with a blank. So as always, guys, like and subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments down below on what you think about the new ban list and really what decks you expect to see coming into the meta and really into the competitive scene now that the new ban list has hit. Real quick before I do end this, I am going to say that I do look for spirals now that all their key cards have been limited to really start taking a straight up nosedive into, for lack of a better term, the card graveyard. Because now that all their key cards have been hit, I look for them to really start dying down and ultimately dying off. And it's definitely not going to be an issue now to kill a spiral deck very easily. So I look, like I said, I look for them to completely die off. Also, there's been a lot of talk and rumors going around about Chaos Emperor Dragon coming off the ban list as well, getting a reprint with a new effect and everything. Well, I do hope that that happens. Konami tends to make one fatal mistake with doing something like that, and Sangan is the perfect example because they rewrote Sangan's effect and then took it off the ban list. Problem is, there's still some of us out there, and you know who you are because I'm one of them, who still has the original Sangan with its original effect. Whether you use it or not, it's up to you. But because they took it completely off the ban list without regard for the original, you can still use it. It's not illegal. It's not tournament illegal anymore. And the same thing goes for everyone out there who has the original, the current Chaos Emperor Dragon. You guys are going to be able to utilize that to its full power because it's the original and it'll no longer be on the ban list if it actually gets taken off. So I look for one deck I look forward to seeing if that card actually comes off is straight up Chaos decks. I look for them to run very rampant once Chaos Emperor Dragon comes off the ban list, if it ever does. So yeah, that's all I want to talk about. So again, like and subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments down below on what you guys think of the upcoming ban list. Let me know if you guys are going to be at that regional tournament in Bethel Park here in just, I think it's now 6 days. I'll be there. I'm sure there's going to be a few other Yu-Gi tubers there as well. And of course, I will be there without the face paint. Also, leave your comment down below on what you think of the new face paint style. If you're wondering what I call this particular look, because I tend to do that with a lot of my face paint styles, this look is called Agony. There's going to be a few others that get a debut here in upcoming videos as well. There's going to be Pain, Rage, Sorrow, and I'm going to be working on one called Bloodlust. I don't really have an idea in my head yet for how I want that one to look. Excuse me, but I have the name anyway. It's just for me basically getting the base color down, and where I'm going to put like the little accents and shit like that. The hardest part, if any of you guys are wondering, is the goatee here. That's a bitch. So until next time, guys, this is your boy Dragon Master signing out. Peace.
Nightmare walking, psychopath talking, king of the jungle, just a vampire stalking.